So I'm finally happy that I can make this video. You know what we're going to be talking about? Today we're talking about Halo Infinite and what we've seen, what the multiplayer looks like it's going to be, and where this game's going to be. Because I personally feel like Halo has got a very bright future. But before we get on the video, definitely hit that like button if you guys enjoyed the video. You can always subscribe to the channel for weekly content. Don't forget to go over there on Twitter and follow me at Lord Addict ILP. Without any further ado, let's talk about Halo. What's going on, you guys? Gaming Addict here, coming at you for another video. Today, we're going to be talking about Halo. There is a lot of speculation going on about Halo. It looks like Halo might be in a good spot. There's a couple things that we're going to go over today. And the majority of this information is going to come off of what the E3 show was and the overview video that they did the day after. I feel like Halo's in a good position right now. You guys know, if you've been watching me for a while, that I've been very skeptical on where the Halo franchise is going and what 343 is doing. I've said multiple times that I personally believe that Halo can be where it used to be. Maybe not necessarily as big because there was a lot of competition going there, but I do think the core mechanics and the foundation Halo is built on can be very enticing to a lot of newer gamers. It's just you got to present it. How do you present it to these people? There's a couple things that, if you notice, the higher games, the games that's running the market in that particular market, is Fortnite, Warzone, Apex Legends. What are all of these games have in common? They're all free to play. These days, it's really hard to sell your product to someone when everyone else is doing it for free. So that was definitely one of the things that I always feared about Halo coming back, is whether or not they can compete in a free-to-play world if they're charging for their service. But we found out a couple months ago that Microsoft was not going to charge for the multiplayer of Halo. And you know, that gives up a different debate on whether or not they should charge for the campaign. We probably know they're going to charge for the campaign, but I'm kind of curious to what they're going to charge and how they're going to handle that price point, knowing the multiplayer is a free to play. Going to be curious to see when they actually officially come out and say when this game's coming out and how much it is, because I would expect, if I were a betting man, I would put my money on like a $40. I think that's fair. $40, maybe $50 because of this price increase, but Microsoft seems to not have adopted the price increase yet, but they might do it for Halo just to get that little extra money. I don't know though, I'm not working for Microsoft. But let's talk about the multiplayer, because I feel like campaign is important in Halo, but it's not as important as the multiplayer. That multiplayer got to be on point to give longevity to this franchise, and this is a 10-year plan. We got to remember that. Now let's go over some of the stuff that they have changed with Halo Infinite and how they're going to take this franchise in the free-to-play world. First off, if you have played Apex Legends or Fortnite, you know there's a battle pass. Battle pass is kind of originated from Fortnite. I don't necessarily know if it was Fortnite that started it, but I know Fortnite's one of the games that really made it big. If for those of you that don't know, this is what a battle pass is. A battle pass is a progression system that once you keep leveling up, what will happen is you'll get cosmetics. You'll get, you know, certain items from that battle pass. And usually after that season for the battle pass, they retire it and you don't have access to it anymore. So essentially you spent, I don't know, anywhere from $5 to $10 to $15 on a battle pass that you won't have access to after that duration for that season has expired. It does look like Halo Infinite and 343 are going to take this a little bit of a different way. They're going to have it to where you can always go back to those old battle passes and you can buy them as well. So for instance, when you get battle pass 5, and let's say people are rocking around with the battle pass 2 armor and you like, yo, that looks nice, how do I get that? Originally, up until now, with this newer approach, when it comes to Destiny and it comes to Fortnite, you missed out. You couldn't do anything about it, and you just had to hopefully pick it up on the store if they actually sold it for currency. Something else that I was really surprised that they did here is they want to take away that, you know, that feeling that when you really grind this season pass and you get these cosmetics that's in that season pass, a lot of other games will eventually sell that on their store after a few months to a year once that battle pass is expired. It does look like 343 is going to go a different approach with this. They're not going to let you buy anything in these battle passes with real money. The only way you're going to be able to get them is to buy that battle pass and progress through that system and get it. You know, no longer can you wait a year after you've grinded like like level 98 to 100. That's where always the good stuff is. And then you see someone a couple months later, so like I said, sometimes it could be up to a year before these things come out, and they have exactly what you had, and you're just like, why did I even grind that battle pass? So I'm really happy that they did this because it rewards people that are consistent in their game. I always hated the fact that you could get stuff in these battle passes in other games, because to me it kind of devalued the battle pass in general. Why would you make people grind for this battle pass and all this stuff in it when you're just going to sell it later on? Now let's talk about some of the other changes that they've made in Halo Infinite. Equipment is actually back in a really unique way. Like for instance, I don't know, for those of you that didn't play Halo in the past, you get stuff like overshield, camouflage. I don't know if they're going to put the bubble in here, but stuff like that from Halo 3, Halo 2, where when you get it, some of them you could use when you want to use. Like I remember the power drain you could use, the bubble, but some of them like the camo or the overshield, it would automatically activate the moment you picked it up. Well, the good news is they're bringing the majority of this back. I don't know if the bubble is going to be in here. I hope the bubble's in here. I really love that thing, man. Hey, 343, bring that back. I really want to see the bubble back in Halo. But they're bringing all of it back, and every single item is going to be used at your own leisure. Like you won't have to go around and pick up the overshield, and you know it's going to activate the moment you pick it up, and you might not necessarily need it at that point, but you'll be able to use it when you want to use it. It's going to be something that's going to be in your inventory. Now keep in mind, if you get clapped when you have this on, that's going to drop as well, so you're going to have to keep that in mind. And it does look like there is a moment that they can kill you before you have access to using it. So for instance, when you pick it up, if they kill you before you actually use the item, your overshield's not going to apply when you're dead. You're going to drop that, and they're going to pick that up and use it against your teammates. So you might want to be a little bit more open to using it when you go into battle, not necessarily when you're in the battle. They have new vehicles. One of the vehicles that they've shown, I hope it's not the only vehicle, is the Razorback. You'll be able to carry additional weapons on the back of this. So when you want to go into a scenario and you know that you might need that smoke, the Spartan laser, maybe a gravity hammer, but you want to make sure that you keep the guns you have on you now, you can take the Razorback and you can put that gravity hammer on the back of that. And I think that's a really unique way of doing it. I know for a fact that this is something that the Halo community has wanted to a point. It's nice that they're going to put it down there. So it does look like Ordnance are back, and it's not the Ordnance from Halo 4 where it's like a kind of kill streak. Ordnance is pretty much just the map being refreshed with vehicles. What happens is there will be a commander in your ear telling you, we're gonna drop a ghost here, or we're gonna drop a tank here. It's pretty much how it is in Halo 5 with the weapons, where they tell you where the weapons are gonna spawn, and I think this is a really unique way of doing things. Halo 2's drop pods are back, where they replenish the weapons on the field randomly with drop pods, and I think that's something really nice as well. So let's talk about the customization of the game, because that's always been a huge thing in Halo, is how your Spartan looks. You want him looking like a beast, and they've really went above and beyond with this. They're adding prosthetic legs. You can actually change your own AI to an AI that fits your personality more than just that standard AI that you've gotten in the past. Actually, come to think of it, I don't even know if you've ever got a full AI in the multiplayer, but we're going to move past that. I don't remember. One thing that I really enjoy is we know that Halo Infinite is going to be the first one in the franchise to really focus on a PC market and a console market. So they're going to have cross progression and cross play in this. I hope to God they let us opt out on the console side to playing with some of the PC people, because cheating can be pretty bad over there from time to time. And I really appreciate the fact that they're putting the cross progression in this for the most part, because it's nice that you can go from PC to console and you still keep all of the stuff that you did on the other one. Now, they're going to put an academy mode on here for a lot of newer players. It's kind of interesting how they're doing this. It kind of reminds me of what they do in Overwatch. They're going to let you change from weapons. They're going to let you have like a shooting range, and they're going to let you set up multiple AIs to kind of simulate what it would like to be on like a 2v or 3v1. And that's really interesting, the fact that it does look like they're going to have behaviorals with this game where you can show how aggressive they are. And you know, I saw one where they were just running in a straight line to kind of get assumption of how you're going to be shooting a lot of Spartans in the multiplayer, where they're going to be running in a straight line and shooting you back. So it's nice that they're doing this, because I felt like Halo always missed something like this, to give people somewhere where they can freely play this game and really tune their skills without going on there in the multiplayer and getting destroyed. So there's a lot of good things about this, and I don't really think there's any kind of negatives with this. You know, obviously we could talk about the single player. That's subjective at this point. We don't know enough about the single player to know exactly what's going to go on there. But I think as a multiplayer standpoint, I feel like what they have put here can bring them back to their glory days. And that's, like I said, not necessarily what it used to be, because Halo used to be in an era where there wasn't a lot of competition to the point where there is now. But I do think they can be a pillar. They can definitely be one of the go-tos in these gaming streets. You can go to Fortnite, you can go to Warzone, you can go to Apex Legends, and if you're tired of the Battle Royale, guess what? We got a game for you. It's called Halo Infinite. You go on there, really get fine-tuned to how this game plays, because obviously Halo plays differently than those other games. And the fact that it's a free-to-play game, I feel like it's going to give it a lot more of an advantage going into this, because some people are getting tired of those Battle Royales, and this is something new. Man, I can't believe I just called Halo new. What I meant by there is obviously a lot of people playing those Battle Royale games, those free-to-play games, that have never really played Halo. A lot of them are probably pretty young, and they will be willing to try Halo if they don't gotta ask their mom for $60 to $70 to play Halo. I believe 343 made the right decision here. It's going to potentially give them a way bigger audience that they could have never got with a paid model of this. Clearly, you still have to pay for the single player, but I feel like the multiplayer is what's going to give this game longevity. And right now, it looks like 343 is hitting every note that they could possibly do here. It looks like this is going to be a solid multiplayer experience, and I'm excited for it. I honestly feel like if they do these right, and they do these season passes right, and they have their own version of events, that Halo could be back on top. Maybe not necessarily number one, but it could be up there with the Fortnites, with the Warzones. It could be a solid contender in the shooter market, and that's something that a lot of people didn't think existed anymore. They didn't think Halo could go back to anything what they used to be, but I think 343 is directing this game in the right direction to get exactly where that is. But anyway, tell me what you guys think. Put it in the comment section below. I'm kind of curious to hear your guys' opinion on 343's multiplayer. I'm going to be reading that later on, but until next time, this is Gaming Addict. I'm out of here. Peace.